Hey, what up, y'all? Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Tap back in for another video. Now, of course, you know by the title, today's topic is about marriage. Something pretty significant for all of us to hopefully achieve and want to aspire to achieve one day in our lives. But the reason why I want to talk about marriage today specifically is because on Sunday, my parents celebrated 35 years of marriage. Major milestone. They've been doing it longer than I've been alive. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about marriage because it's something that we aspire to have. Hopefully, it's something that we've thought about potentially having one day. Um, but oftentimes, in the midst of our current climate, there are so many different distractions, so many different competing things, so many different narratives out there that speaks against marriage first and foremost, that is put out there um, to sway us and to discourage us from pursuing it and ultimately obtaining it. And what I want you all to understand and realize is marriage is it's imperfect. Marriage is a full-time job, but marriage is worth it at the end of the day. With the current climate that we're in right now, the government's still shut down. We're coming up on a month with the government being shut down next week. Um, you want to be able to have a person that you can lean on during these times that we're in currently, and just be able to have a trustworthy partner that you can have difficult conversations with, that you can vent to, uh, that you can lean on during tumultuous times that inevitably is going to come. Difficult times are going to come, hard times are going to come, but the beautiful thing about marriage is when you do it the right way, when you go into it not expecting everything to be about your feelings and your emotions and the way in which you want things to be done, when you go into it selfless, knowing that this is much more about us versus me. When you have that mindset, when you have that attitude, at the end of the day, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can accomplish. And so when it comes to marriage, a lot of people, may be saying right now, okay, well, I'm not married right now, or I'm not even thinking about possibly getting married right now. And the question that I would ask you is, that's fine, that's cool, but when does it become a priority? And the reason why I ask that question is because so many times, we've heard growing up, including myself, hey, go to college, get your education, start your career, travel the world, do this, do that, then focus on marriage. Well, my parents and our grandparents and parents, so many of them, they got married at a young age because they knew that during the time in which they got married, they needed each other. They needed each other in terms of putting their money together to create a comfortable middle class income to where they can get by and be able to have X, Y, and Z to do whatever it is they desire to do. But, with the climate that we're in now, so often do we see and hear that I'm good over here where I'm at. I'm good over here where I'm at because I'm making this amount of money. I'm making that amount of money. I got this business. I got that going on. I'm traveling the world. I'm happy. But in the back of your mind, the desire to get married is still there, but it's just not a priority. And the thing is, and especially for the ladies, what I want you all to understand is, if you desire to be married, ladies, you don't have time to wait, because not only from a biological standpoint, but the older you get, the more trauma and the more things that you've experienced is a part of you. And so, like that old saying goes, old people are stuck in their ways. And the same can be said for us as an adults now. The more things that we go through, the more things that we see, the more things that we are exposed to, the more and more, as time go along, the more and more we become set in our ways, unless we take it upon ourselves to reverse the thinking, reverse the trend, and go in the other direction. And just from a sheer number standpoint, ladies, there's not a lot of men out there that are available, just because of the numbers. And it could be a variety of different reasons. But then once you begin to break it down and understand that, all right, I do desire to be married, I do desire to have a husband. Yeah, I'll get to that eventually, but let me focus on X, Y, and Z first. Well, what is it to say that maybe X, Y, and Z can still get done while you are being intentional about finding your husband? Or once you find your husband, the things by which you want to accomplish and get done can still get done with his assistance. And maybe he can even make it easier for you to accomplish those things by either financially supporting you in whatever it is, by maybe some of the people he know that he can connect you with, to where it can be easier to accomplish. But so much of our society has taught us growing up, we got to be independent. We got to get it on our own. We got to do this. We got to do that. And that's cool. We're supposed to be self-sufficient. We're supposed to strive to want to do for ourselves and accomplish X, Y, and Z for ourselves. All that is important. But what life is showing people right now, more so women that are older, that are unmarried, that desire to be married, is that you did not have the time that you thought you had to begin with. You misuse your time to do all these different things, go on these different trips, get in the clubs for free every single weekend, do this and do that. And you misused the years by which you were at your peak in terms of being most desired to find your man. Because all of us, at some point in our lives, have met at least one person that could have been deemed a suitable spouse. But as time went along, we chose to maybe go in a different direction. And when I say we, I mean like we as a collective, not necessarily me per se, but just for the sake of the conversation, we have chosen to not go in that direction because we wanted to focus on all these other things that at the end of the day really doesn't matter. It really doesn't equate to true happiness. Yeah, it equates to temporary happiness because we may have, as a result, be making more money because of our education. We may it may be easier for us to climb up the corporate ladder because of the amount of certifications we have. All those things are great for ourselves. It has nothing to do with the other person that aspires to be our spouse. It has nothing to do with them. And so we put so much time and energy into things that at the end of the day, when we die, it doesn't really matter. I have a ton of different things that I've accomplished in my short life so far. But I personally would trade it all to have my wife one day. I would trade all of what I've accomplished for my wife, because for me personally, I want to have kids, but also when it's time for me to go, I want to leave something behind on this earth, knowing that not only did it come from me, but me and a mother put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort to give them a good upbringing, and also put all the different tools in their toolbox to where they can be best suited to be productive members of society. So that way, when it's time for me and mama to kick back and just reflect on how we did it with our kids, we'll be proud knowing that we did it the right way. And for me, that is why marriage is so important for me, because when I think about it, my parents, they're the gold standard for me. They've been doing it for 35 years. Yeah, did they do everything right? Of course not. Did they argue? Of course they did. Did they disagree? Of course. But what I can honestly say has kept my parents together after all these years is their mindset. It's knowing that I feel a certain way about this, I feel a certain way about that, but at the end of the day, I love my husband, I love my wife. It's about us working together to create the best possible environment for our son and for our daughter to not only be happy, but also for them to take from us. So that way, when it's their time one day to have their own family, they already have the blueprint. They already have something they can point to that shows that consistency, that shows that love, that shows that selflessness, that shows the commitment and the determination to, regardless of what's going on in our respective lives individually and even together, it's about them at the end of the day. And that's what we have to, as a society, that's what we have to get back to understanding and realizing. At the end of the day, I'm no better by myself than you are by yourself. We both need each other. Man and woman, we both need each other. I can make myself to be however successful I want to be in this life. But I can't begin to tap into that other dimension as a man without a wife. I can't do it. I don't care what other men got going on out there. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they talking about, oh nah, Vic, like nah, you tripping, bro. Like you can do it on your own. I hear what you're saying, but as a man of God, I can't begin to bear the other fruit on the other side that I'm not even privy to right now until I jump the broom, until I get married. I can't comprehend it. I can't understand it. I can't begin to wrap my head around it. I can't, because I'm not there yet. And so that's why, like, as a coach, I spend so much time talking to my clients, talking to you all about love and relationships, because that is the secret sauce. to everlasting happiness and even more success. Who wants to go through their life with all these riches, all this success, all these different accolades? Who wants to go through their life celebrating that by themselves? Celebrating that with their boys, their girls. That gets old. That gets old real fast. You don't want to go through life celebrating those major milestones with your spouse. You don't want to go through life celebrating your anniversary with your person. Every single year, you just knocking down year after year after year after year after year, when the odds is stacked against you to begin with, especially as a black man and a black woman. That the average black marriage doesn't last more than 5 years. So you don't think that means something? At the end of the day, when we grow old and when we look back on how we lived our life, we need to ask ourselves, once we get to that point, did I do it the right way? Did I do all I could do in my life to not only be happy, but put myself in a position where I don't have any regrets looking back on my younger years? Did I do everything I needed to do to put myself in the best possible position to be happy by choosing to do life with this imperfect person? Because regardless of what's going on, regardless of what we hear and what we see on social media, there is no one out there that has everything. There's no one out there that is perfect. There's no one out there that is above the next human being. They may have higher financial status. They may have higher a higher following on social media. But in terms of what and who they are as a person, there's no separation between person to person, because we're all human. We bleed the same. We bleed the same. When we die, we're going to become dust. So everything by which we care about right now in our current life, I got to get to the bag. I got to travel. I got to do this. I got to post this on social media so it looks like I'm really happy. But at the end of the day, what do you have to show for? If you desire to get married, get married. Focus on it. Like, I did a video talking about being intentional. Excuse me, my eyes just acting up, y'all. But be intentional. Put yourself in a position to find your person. Put the work in. And me personally, I wouldn't say do online dating, but there are exceptions to the rule. People have found their person via online dating platforms. Excuse me. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend going that route. But be intentional about finding your person, because we see what's going on right now across the country, the world. We don't have the time like we think we do. Oh yeah, I want to focus. I want to focus on starting my business. I want to focus on doing this and doing that. I'll get to that eventually. we're not in control of nothing. The only thing we're in control of is what we do in our own personal life. The decisions that we make. The people that we choose to have in our life or not have in our life. We're in control of that. But if you're sitting around thinking that this person is going to have everything that you're looking for, if you're sitting around thinking that this person is going to just fall in your lap out the sky, if you're sitting around thinking that this person is going to do everything right when you do find this person, you are sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. And if you think that this person is not going to piss you off, if you think this person is not going to have their flaws, if you think this person is not going to stumble or fall short on certain things, you're mistaken. You might as well stay off the market. You might as well stay single and do whatever it is you want to do on that side. For everybody else that want to be married and aspire to be married, what are you waiting on? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid to have this person see your flaws, see the things that you've been through, and think that they're going to judge you, think that they're going to leave you, think that they're going to repeat the same history that you've been through with other people by you allowing them inside of your mind, inside of your world? Is that what you think? There is nothing more important in this life than finding the person that is for you. I don't care what nobody tells y'all. The most important decision you can make in your life is who you choose to do life with. It's not buying a house. It's not buying a car. It's not starting a business. It's not where you go to school. The single most important decision that is going to make or break your life is who you choose to do life with. Because this man or this woman can single-handedly either destroy and ruin your life, or they could make it be everything you hoped and wished for as a little kid, by them adding on to everything that you are, by them adding on to you and all your flaws, by them filling in the gaps. That is what makes marriage beautiful, is a man, a woman from two different sides of the world, country, city, wherever, come together and making it work. Two different people from different walks of life, different experiences, different upbringings, coming together, putting their ego and their pride to the side and making it work. That's what it comes down to. So when we as individuals first tell ourselves that we are not better off by ourselves, and that we are better apart than we are better together than apart, when we tell ourselves that individually, we'll see things begin to change. But see, there's so much spiritual warfare going on, and I've talked about this before. There's so much spiritual warfare going on right now. The devil's busy. The devil's busy. He is working tirelessly to confuse and to ultimately destroy the definition of family. Because when you create infighting amongst people, amongst civilizations, the fastest way for it to collapse is from the inside out, not the outside in. That's the quickest way for civilizations to fall, is from the inside out. So if man and woman is going back and forth constantly over social media saying, yeah, nah, I'm better off by myself, or I'm good off of you, I'm better off over here without you. And then when times get hard and you need that other person, you need your opposite to be there to make life in any kind of way easier on you, that's when the reality sets in. Like, man, dang, I could have really used him right now to be here considering everything that I got going through. Or man, I could have really used her right now to be here considering everything that I got going on in my life right now. But see, ego, pride. Ego and pride will forever be the death of us as humans. Because we want to prove how tough we are. We want to prove how much we don't care. We want to prove that we can do it all by ourselves. Who wants to grow old like that? Who wants to grow old like that? So if you aspire to be married, and if you want to be married, be intentional about it. Be intentional by your actions to get to that point. There's nothing more important in your life that needs to get done prior to you finding your person and getting married and riding off in the sunset. Yeah, do for yourself. Be able to self-sustain yourself. Make yourself as whole as you can possibly make yourself be. Nobody wants somebody who can't take care of themselves. And we understand that. Reading between the lines. But at the same time, all of us can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So with that being said, be intentional about the actions. If you want to get married, what you waiting for? Because if you're waiting for yourself to be this perfectly put together package, it's not going to happen. None of us will ever be a perfectly put together package. We're all flawed. We all got things to us. Do the work on yourself, no doubt. Focus on your mental. Focus on your spirit. Focus on your physical health. Focus on all those things. But make no mistake about it. Every single one of us is flawed. Every single one of us has something to us. So it's about understanding what is it that you're willing to deal with or not deal with. What are your non-negotiables? What is it that this person has that is not a non-negotiable, but you can work with? Talk about it. Communicate with this person about it. Because They have things that's going to get on your nerves, and you have things that's going to get on their nerves. It's part of the human experience. But talk about it. Don't take it upon yourself to make an executive decision to, you know what? I don't like the way you smell today. I'm leaving. I'm gone. Or you know what? I don't like this or that person in your family. I'm gone. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But too often, so many relationships are destroyed because of pride, because of ego, over things that does not warrant a breakup, that does not warrant a divorce. That's why my parents been together for 35 years and counting, because they put their ego and their pride to the side. Because at the end of the day, it was about the family. It was never about how they individually felt within themselves. It was always about the family and what they needed to do for me and my sister at the end of the day. That's what it was always about. It wasn't necessarily about how they individually felt. They went through things, they compromised, they talked it out, and guess what? They still kicking it to this day. They still going strong to this day. 35 years. Longer than I've been alive. That's what it's about. Put your individual feelings to the side. Man or woman, I don't care who you are. Put your individual feelings to the side. Understand that the stuff that you got smell, and the stuff that they got smell. But guess what? At the end of the day, would you rather have this person by your side than not have them because of something small? Because of something that could have been worked through or talked through? Would you rather go to your house or back to your house, your townhouse, your condo, whatever you got, and be in that place by yourself because you're too prideful to simply sit down at the table and talk it out with this person? That, like, we have to get out of our own way. We have to get out of our own way. And so marriage is the most important thing, the most important decision that we can make in our life in terms of who we do it with. It's not anything else. It's not what college you go to. It's not what home you decide you want to buy. It's not any of those things. Because the people by which you choose to have in your life, mainly a person that you pick to be your spouse, that is the most important decision you can make in your life. And so those of you watching this video, if that's the space that you want to be in, put the work in. What are you waiting on? Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. If you don't have kids and you want kids, take the proper steps, get married, and then focus on that. But just simply saying, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it, that's foolish. Because life is going to show you eventually that you're no longer in a position to where you are suited by all these different people. At some point, you're going to age yourself off the market. Mainly speaking to the women. At some point, you're going to age yourself off the market as a woman. See, for us guys, it's a little bit different. we can get married in our 40s and even our early 50s to a younger woman, and it's not really frowned upon. We can do that. Ladies, you cannot do that because one, there's not a lot of available men. Two, a lot of younger men don't necessarily like to marry and settle down with an older woman because he wants kids, more than likely. So, from that standpoint, the years by which you all have to get it and be intentional about finding your husband, you all should be very aggressive with trying to figure out who your husband is and where he's located. Because the numbers is not on your side. The numbers in terms of the amount of years you have to find him, the amount of years you have to have kids in a healthy manner, and the amount of years you have before you age yourself off the market. You don't have time. You don't have time to mess around. The amount of time that's spent going to college, traveling, doing this, doing that, before you look up, you college, traveling, doing this with your girls, before you look up, 10, 12 years has gone by. 10, 12 years has gone by. Now you look up, you in your mid-30s. Mid-30s. No kids. You not married. And yet you think you still have time. You do not have time. You do not have time. But the desire to get married is there. Within your own mind, it's there. But you spend all these years doing things that is really not important. Yeah, go to school, get your education. Do that. That's important. No man wants a woman that that can't hold her own. No man wants a woman that's not independent. No man wants a woman that is not valuable in terms of the skill set she brings to the table. Because at the end of the day, those skills that you bring to the table can be combined with the skills that he brings to the table. That it can make life easier on both of you. So yeah, nobody wants somebody that can't hold their own weight. That can't be self-sufficient on their own. Nobody wants that. But the time in which you all have is nothing compared to the time in which we have. It's just simply different. We didn't make the rules. That's just how it is. So it's crucial that you all are aggressive in finding your man and removing yourself off the market. You don't want to be out here competing with women who are your friends and competing with women that are younger, that are more fertile, that has less trauma, that is less jaded by the world. You don't want to be out here competing with that. Because when that man finds that woman that is younger, that is more fertile, that's less traumatized, that's less jaded by the world, that's more willing to let him do his thing in terms of lead, not control, but lead. He gonna be off the market quick, fast, in a hurry. Because at the end of the day, most men want kids. Most men want kids. A lot of men don't just want a woman they can travel the world with. Like, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. Yeah, we don't mind traveling with our wife. That's cool. But at the end of the day, we want kids. Because We want to have our own bloodline continue whenever we leave this earth, knowing that we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids that was left behind. That's going to carry the family torch. Like that's what men want. That's what men crave, is their own family, their own kids. So if you're spending all this time focusing on everything but that, when you have a way smaller runway to work with, yeah, you're going to get passed over. You're going to get overlooked. You're going to continue to fail in your relationships because your mind is not focused on the most important thing at the end of the day, which is family. Not your personal accolades, not your personal accomplishments. All that is great for you. That has nothing to do with him at the end of the day. Has nothing to do with him. So think about this. Ladies, fellas, think about this. Marriage is the most important thing. The most important decision that we can make in our life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if you desire to be married, be intentional about finding that person. Be intentional about it. Don't sit around waiting, think it's just going to happen. This person's just going to fall in your lap. It don't work like that. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. But before you decide to put the work in, understand that this person is flawed. This person is not going to have everything that you want. This person, like I said the other day, they're going to piss you off because they are a man and she's a woman. Two different types of human beings. Two different types of emotions. Various different types of emotions of all kind. Different ways in which we see the world. Different ways in which we see and view things in life. Doesn't mean that it's wrong per se, but it just means that it's different. And so if you go into any sort of relationship that leads to a marriage, hopefully eventually, if you have that understanding, and God willing, you will be at 35 years one day, just like my parents are right now. So with that being said, appreciate y'all watching, tuning in. Keep an eye out for the next video, but you all be safe. I'll talk to y'all later.